All right, welcome to my religious life video blog. So here's why, because Matthew chapter 23 is going to be huge of this, you guessed it, 22nd Sunday of Pentecost. Pentecost, and we'll take it from there, so who knows? Could be the closest to this one, so who knows about this one, so who cares? Cares about this one, so you're just interested about that, who knows? Anyways, 22nd second Sunday of Pentecost, and I'll read something from you from Matthew chapter 23, verses 1 through 12 says, Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, The scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. Therefore do whatever they teach you and follow it. But do not do as they do, for they do not practice what they teach. They tied up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on the shoulders of others. But if they themselves are unwilling to lift a finger to move, they do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long. They do love to have the place of honor at banquets and the best seats in the synagogue, and to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces, and to have people call them rabbi. But you are not. You are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all students. And call no one your father on earth, for you have one Father, the one in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. All who exalt themselves will be humble, and all be humble themselves will be exalted. Now, take for instance, Father Steve Karcher has a wonderful sermon this morning at my church. Talks about the Pharisees and all that stuff. And everybody's, because today's gospel of Matthew chapter 23. And I have no clue whatsoever. I'm not making this up. Because I know Father Steve Karcher at my church has a huge sense of humor. So, you don't have to take my word for it, or for whatever it is. So, and you know what that means. Because I'm going to make this long story short about this one, because everybody knows has a warning to anyone else can be civilized, because Jesus warns the multitudes. And that is why the disciples not to follow the examples of the Pharisees. And why? So take for instance, because everyone else could be a short human beings to follow this part of their teaching. And why? Because which is according to Moses' teaching, Jesus teaches that he, the Christ, is the only teacher whom they should listen. Listen to what they said about this one. They should listen to your parents, to your mom, or your workers, or anything else. Follow everybody's examples of their commands. And why? Because that all who trust him are brothers in his family. And with the God as their father, they should listen to no one. And give me one of the reasons why. Because servanthood is more than self. More important than himself. Exaltation. God's exaltation will come to self-humbling. So who knows about this one? Maybe you will learn how to listen to their commands to take down the treasurer. I have no objection whatsoever, so who knows about this one. Now, give me one of the reasons why about this verses. Seems so long about the Pharisees try to, well, you guessed it. That's why he allows their office. That was number one. And number two, you know what that means. That's why warning his disciples not to imitate the hypocrisy and pride. And what about number three? I might add, because everybody knows that he exhibits a charge against them for divers high crimes and misdemeanors and corrupt the law. And that is why, because everybody knows that it denounces scribes and Pharisees. Because all who exalt them will be humbled, and all who humble themselves will be exalted. Just pure and simple. And the more of this religious life video blog story for this 22nd of Pentecost is this. Could be important. You should listen and don't make too many excuses. Because like I said, according to Matthew chapter 23, it says that, you know who? You know, and why? Because it says that, the people call them rabbi, but you are not to be called rabbi. For you have one teacher, and you are all students. And no one calls you Father on earth, for you have one Father, the one in heaven. That rings bells to you? I hope so. Anyways, that's my religious life video blog story, and I'm sticking to it.